morning, friends. Hi, I'm Leah Fireheart. This is the Fire Kitchen. Welcome to Kitchen Chore Thursday. We have all the big plans today. Um, First, let's say hello to folks. Abby, congratulations on arriving first. Hi. Brig, hello. Jane, hi. Um, Abby is teleporting Brig to his planet zoo as a safety inspector because there's construction everywhere. Alpine, hi, hello. Mom, good morning. Omega's Prime, good morning. Hi, how are you guys? Good to see ya. Um, so, um, Today, I have some little, stupid things to do. This happens periodically where, so I don't know how to explain, every year we have a condo inspection. So every year they come in and they make sure that the windows aren't leaking and the sinks aren't leaking, that you're not using the attic for storage, that there isn't anything that's their responsibility that they need to address in the upcoming year. But I always feel the pressure of inspection. They're not looking for how clean my house is, and yet every year I freak out and clean it top to bottom anyway. So in an effort to prevent that happening this year, because this is happening within the next couple of weeks, I am doing just kind of cleaning and decluttering to make sure that I'm ready to do that. Um, and so one of the tasks that I have this week is that I want to make sure that I fully wipe down all of the kitchen counters. It's obviously we wipe down the kitchen counters every day, right? But also I don't always move the toaster to do it. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So we're going to do that. We're going to do this part today. I also noticed when I was trying to put everything away in the baking cabinet that there wasn't enough space. And so I ended up having to reorganize it and just consolidate things and stuff, that I have a ton of dried fruit. So we're going to make some granola to use up some of that. We're going to do same thing. Freezer. I went and I cleared out the freezer. Why? I don't know. I'd done the refrigerator, and so it seemed to make sense to do the freezer too. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. And so when I was looking through the freezer, I noticed that I had two chicken carcasses in there, and so we're gonna make chicken stock. Also because I know I happen to have celery and carrots right now, and I don't always. Um, and then the last thing was poppy seeds. I have two huge containers of poppy seeds. Why do I have two containers of poppy seeds? I don't know. Penzies gave me this one for free, and I thought I didn't have any, and I did. And so now I have two containers of poppy seeds. So we're gonna make poppy seed dressing. I'm gonna make a salad tonight to go with I'm making crab cake burgers later, from just frozen crab cakes. This isn't that exciting, but we'll need a vegetable to go with it. So I thought I'd just make a poppy seed dressing to use on the salad. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today. Everybody is what Brig is wishing my mother crisp corn flakes and watered flowers. I love that for us. Lassie, hi. Hi, how's it going? Good to see you. Actually, I think I'm going to use so Lassie sent me a recipe for I think it was strawberry and avocado salad. And I actually didn't ever make that, even though it sounded really good. And at the time, that literal day, I had avocados and strawberries, and I don't anymore. And so I don't have either one at the moment. But I still am interested in the poppy seed dressing. So I think I'm going to do that. And I think that's going to be the recipe I use. So we should probably just actually get started. I mean, if you guys have, I'm not going to put a task list up because I don't have a super fancy bot or anything. Actually, Kamesy did send me hers, which is separate from Spirit City, you know? But which is the thing I usually do when we do communal co-working or whatever. But we can just put an unofficial accountability list in the chat. If you want, we could I don't know, maybe think about pinning a list. I don't know. Anyway, but whatever. So if you have something that you're trying to get done today, and it would help you to have other people know that this is what you're working on as a way of committing yourself to the task, then feel free to drop that in the chat, because we'd love to help out if we can. Jane just got the urge to cut her hair, so she's making a hair appointment immediately so I don't DIY it and mess it up again. Well, that seems like a very smart thing to do. So you will notice my hair is not, well, I mean, it actually doesn't look terrible at the moment. It's just that because it's pulled back. The for some reason the front part has like faded a lot faster than like the back or underneath. And so I was supposed to have a hair appointment on Wednesday. I was supposed to have a hair appointment yesterday to get it cut because also it's looking a little bit like thin and stringy right here on the ends. I don't know if you can tell, but I can. And so I was going to get a haircut and get my hair repinkened. But unfortunately we've had a bunch of thunderstorms lately and my stylist, I guess, was out of town and her flight got canceled. And so she had to move my appointment. So instead of yesterday, it's going to be next Thursday, which is as good a time as any to talk about the fact that next week is going to be a little bit of a shit show in terms of scheduling. Lassie says that I did send that. I'm also getting BG3 builds for honor mode from ChatGPT to see if ChatGPT can beat BG3 honor mode. Oh my God. So good luck with that. Next week, I think probably Fortnite streams will be fine and we'll go ahead as normal as planned. Monday and Wednesday at 7 a.m. Tuesday, though, I have my first gig as an in-person food instructor, cooking instructor. So we won't be doing stream on Tuesday because I will be elsewhere at that time. And then Thursday, I have my hair appointment. And that's going to be right in the middle of the day. And so I'm not going to be able to stream that day either. But Friday should be okay. And then I think Saturday, hold on. I think there was something Saturday that was going to mess everything up, but let me look. Oh, no, there is something on the calendar, but it won't mess anything up. So Saturday should be okay. So we'll probably end up doing something Saturday too. Maybe we'll do cooking Saturday because otherwise that kind of wipes out our cooking for the week. Well, this Saturday is Community Fortnite, yes, but next Saturday, there was something on the calendar, but it's something Grog wanted to do and I don't need to participate. So, Lassie wants to know what Jane's going to do to her hair. That's actually a very fun question that I should have thought to ask because I was immediately curious, but I didn't verbalize it for some reason. I don't know. I guess I'm just a bad streamer. Right. Okay. So actually, I think I'm going to start pulling stuff out because there's, I don't actually care how much I get through today that much. But on the other hand, it would be cool to get the things done. So, yeah, see, Lassie agrees with me that I am the absolute worst. So let's go to the cooking scene just so that you guys have a view of the countertop here. Here is the countertop. Look how beautiful that looks. Jane's hair is currently about the same length as Leah's for reference. And I'm thinking about going right above my shoulders. Right above your shoulders. Oh, that's a lot shorter. On me, that would be like 7 inches, like 7-8 inches. That would be a lot. There's this hair is like falling out, but it's also like knotted to another one. So why is that? Okay, anyway. All right. So yeah, so let's start with chicken stock because that's pretty simple. Let's do chicken. All right, so I have random leeks that were in the freezer for no reason. I have my chicken carcasses that are in here. And then I would say, let me get the tail end of this bag of carrots. So we'll use those. And then I've got some celery here that we can use. That's a little bit, it's not like terrible, but it's not like great. And so all of those things are going to go in a pot. Amazing. Fantastic. I love that for us. Okay, so we get, I'm not gonna do anything fancy with this. No brown chicken stock or anything. I'm just gonna literally like put the stuff in the pot. I'm gonna do some oil. Actually, I'm not gonna do olive oil. I'm just gonna use vegetable oil. And I'm gonna just brown up the veggies a little bit. And then I'm gonna put the chicken in there. And then we're gonna cover it with water. And then we're gonna let it boil forever. I mean, not forever, but like, you know, for a while. For longer than I'll be streaming. So, you know, that's a start. Okay. So I don't think I need like onions or anything because I don't think I'm going to. I'm just gonna do like some chunky chunks. All of that is going out anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is a lot of leeks, and I think I'm just gonna make it very leaky because why not? Jane says, thanks for having similar hair. So I can use you as an example? You are very welcome. I am happy to be used as an example in most instances. Alpine says, sounds fancy to me. I mean, it is kind of, right? It is kind of, because I realize that most people don't make their own chicken stock from scratch on a regular basis. And don't make their own granola. They just buy it in a store. Like, you know, would be very normal. Dressings, another thing, very normal to make, to like not make, to like buy in a store. So easy. But because I have all this stuff and I have all this time, and these have been things that are on like kind of a mental to-do list, I'm kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? Lassie says that's some serendipity, but also now Leah needs to get the cut to keep Jane's hair length so that they can continue. No. I don't particularly like short hair on me. My hair, if I don't blow it out, is pretty wavy. It's not, I blow this out with like hair oil and stuff to get it to stay pretty straight like this. Just because when it dries, it's like, it's very extremely inconsistent and looks really weird. And when I cut it that short, even if I blow it out, I don't know, it just gets like weirdly frizzy and curly, and that length in particular, like right below my chin or like right above my shoulders, looks very bad. It looks really, really bad when it curls because it ends up being like, I don't know, like Bozo the Clown. Like it's just, especially in pink, I just think it would be really bad. Leah's now refusing to be a team player. Absolutely refusing to be a team player. Jane says my hair dries pretty straight. It's the only straight thing about me, honestly. I love that. That's hilarious. Okay, so easy peasy. Heating up our oil here. So what are you guys up to today? I imagine most of you are working or about to be working. Carrot. I have another bag of carrots in there, which is why I'm just dumping what I have. Doesn't matter if we have leaves, just gonna strain it all out anyway. I mean, I'll put these little tiny pieces in there, but just because those are gonna like maybe make it through the sieve. But all right, especially once they're boiled down. But the rest of those can go in here. The leeks, oh my God, that's so many leeks. That's like too many leeks. Is that too many leeks? That might be too many leeks. Maybe we'll use like half of that. That's probably better. And then we'll just leave the other half for, the problem is that like when you need one leek, they like come in bunches of 3, right? And then you end up having to like chop them up and put them in the freezer or something so that you don't waste them. But then I have to remember to use them, and that's tricky. Okay. Ta-da! I should really not call this Kitchen Chore Thursday. I should really call this Kitchen Trash Thursday. Now, salt. Kosher salt, regular salt. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And then let this hopefully just get a little cooked. Cool. All right. Jane is working. Yeah, reinforcing the worst allegations, precisely. Jane says, "Oh man, my cat was just doing the cutest thing and then she fell off the bed and I thought I was filming it, but I wasn't hitting the button." Oh no! No cute cat pictures. Whatever will we do? You're just gonna have to offer some kind of compensation, Jane. Like some kind of compensatory cat picture. Hold on a second. I just have to open this on my stream view so that I can ban anybody that misbehaves. Cool. Okay. You owe her so much compensation. What, the cat? No, us. I want to see a cat picture in compensation for you not filming the cute thing. I want a different cat picture. A less cute cat picture. I was actually, wait, who was I watching last night that was saying that? Oh, I wasn't watching anybody. It was Katie. It was Seabells. We were playing Fortnite last night in Discord, and Katie was saying she'd been out of town for a few days, and now the cat was mad at her and wanted like compensatory extra food or early food as a result. Which I thought was pretty funny. I don't know, like Chester, when we go out of town, although like it's hard now because like he's a little bit high maintenance because of all of his like health stuff. But when we would go out of town, when he in his younger days, we would let him stay with his dog trainer, the guy that like worked with us when we first got him, like 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, because he was really like he just had a lot of separation anxiety and it was really, really tough. And he was just not a happy boy when we would leave him. I think he thought he was being abandoned again every time we left the house. And so he comes back and he's just like he is too well exercised to be miffed at us. He'll like sleep for 3 days straight. He just like he'll get up to like eat and go out and that's about it. He's just like I had like 5 dogs and 2 kids and 2 adults and all this like yard to explore for 3 days and now I'm exhausted. Leave me alone. Okay, Jane says there's a compensation pic in the Discord for your viewing pleasure later. Thank you, Jane. Alpine also added a less cute cat picture for my enjoyment. Thank you! And Jane loves the less cute cat picture. Cat pictures are always welcome. Other animal pictures are also always welcome. If you don't happen to have a cat, I also accept dog pictures, squirrel pictures, guinea pig pictures. If you're doing dog pictures, please spoil. I mean, if you're doing not dog pictures. If you're doing bug pictures, please spoiler them. We have members of our community who are very sensitive to photos of bugs. But other than that, like it would be very, very fun, and we would enjoy seeing pictures of all the animals in your life. Okay, here is our. You know what's weird about that? You know what's weird about this chicken carcass? This chicken carcass isn't a chicken carcass. What is it? Guys, this isn't a chicken carcass. That's not a chicken. I guess everything looks the same when it's frozen. Do we throw it in there anyway? I mean, how bad could it be, right? Whatever. Let's go with it. It's bone broth now, not chicken broth. Jane says I have a funny squirrel picture somewhere from the guy who liked to hang on the outside of my window screen. Alpine wants to know what kind of broth we're making it. Then I mean, given what I know we've eaten recently, my best guess would be maybe ham. Like it might be pork. But like the fact of the matter is that most of the time when I'm using like chicken stock, I don't like there's times when it just doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? I'm just using chicken stock to make beans, or I'm using chicken stock to make, I don't know. It's like just so I'm not that worried about it. I think it might be a ham bone. Just based on the shoulder blade of it. Because I wouldn't save like just a regular like pork bone, I don't think. Ham I might though. And there's other ham in there. That's like just sliced ham. That I think I was gonna like chop up and use in beans, I think. So I think it might be that. I think it might be from a ham. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so let's put some water in here. Yeah, so this is now Kitchen Experiment Thursday. I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what kind of bone that is, but we're gonna roll with it. I would guess ham, if I had to guess. I made a ham at Easter, and that would be the kind of thing that would be a logical thing for me to have in my freezer still 3-4 months later. So let's do this. And if we end up labeling this ham stock because it doesn't taste anything like chicken stock, then that's fine. Oh, right. So we're going to make this, we're going to bring this to a boil. And then as soon as it boils, we'll turn it all the way down and set it to a simmer, put the lid on it. Yeah, so I think maybe ham. So we may end up using this to do like bean soups or something instead. But I'll clearly label it. It'll be okay. Right. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Granola. Do I have? Here's a question. Do I have the granola recipe on the website? I actually don't know. I should probably check that, huh? I assumed all of these things were going to be on the website, but maybe they aren't. Ooh, okay, maybe it isn't. All right, let me check some of my other former sites then, and we'll see if we can find. Okay, my finger is oily now. I know I have it somewhere. Boopity boop boop boo, boopity boop 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 boo, boopity boop 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 boo, boopity boop 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 boo. Yes, indeed, I do have it on a site, if not the site. So let's just copy paste this into my current site. Amazing. All right. Log in. Hi, Night Captain Andrew. I am indeed stalking you. Are you making stock too? Lassie says Lassie, so everyone has kind of different opinions on the use of ChatGPT for stuff. So I'd kind of like, I mean, I don't actually care really, but like, I think can we just not today? I'm sorry. I know it's just that like I just don't want it to become a thing. Okay. So I would appreciate it if I'm happy to hear about your BG3 builds, but if we can leave ChatGPT out of chat, that would be lovely. Thank you. Okay, so granola. I just don't want to get into a whole big, like, debate about stuff. I have things I need to do today. Okay. Choose a block. Sorry, now I'm just like adding things to the website. You know, I actually also didn't like update my recipe command today, and I probably should have. Because how are people going to know where to find stuff if it's not on the website? Okay, today dried fruit is not optional. Today dried fruit is very much not optional. I'm not sure I have 2 cups of nuts, so that could be interesting, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Okay, Alton Brown's granola recipe is still on the Food Network site, which is amazing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes those old recipes that I've been making for years are not on the site anymore. Okay, recipe from Food Network. Link. Enter. Cool. Publish. Publish. Right, so the granola recipe is now on the site. Let's just look up alerts. Nope, not alerts. Commands. Recipe. Edit. Today we are making so many things. We're going to call it stock since we've determined that this is probably not quite chicken stock. Granola and poppy seed dressing. No, don't cancel it. Complete. All right, so now all of those, well, not all of them. The poppy seed dressing's not on the site yet, but once we figure out what we're doing with that, that should be good. Okay, so let's. I'm actually not going to print this out because this is actually relatively like simple to do. Okay, big bowl. And then set this to bake at 250. You guys, this is actually going a lot faster already than I thought it would, which is a little distressing because I might be live for like, I don't know, like 25 minutes. And it'll be like, okay, we're done. See ya. Bye, guys. Hope you have a good day. No, I'm kidding. I'm half kidding. I don't remember how many sheet trays this takes. Does the recipe say? Two sheet pans. It does in fact say. Fantastic. All right. So productive. Thank you. Are you being so productive too, Brig? Do you have things you're doing today? I guess technically you're working, huh? And streaming later. I'm actually excited about Brig's stream later. I mean, not that I'm ever not excited about Brig's stream, but like I'm particularly excited today. Alpine got hit by a surprise meeting. Have a wonderful morning of mystery stock and granola. Oh, I'm sorry about your surprise meeting, but thank you for being here. And I hope it is both short and important enough to warrant being a last minute meeting. 3 cups of oats. Yeah, surprise meeting. Oof. I am not a fan. The thing that I'm wondering is I should add some like flax to this or something maybe. Because that would be like extra fiber, right? And that would be good. 2 cups of whatever nuts happen to be on hand. I think I only have almonds. And I'm not even sure how many almonds at that. I think I'm going to use the whole ones because I think I have the most of those. Kaylee has a meeting in like 30 minutes, but hi, friends. How come everyone has meetings today? What the heckies? So many meetings. Okay, I think I'm actually going to grab, hold on. We're already using unauthorized surfaces, guys. We're we're already in unauthorized surfaces land. I suppose I should have known that today was going to go this way just because like making multiple disparate things is going to use a lot of counter space. No. So we might be a little light on the nuts today, unfortunately, because I'm literally out of them, which is wild to me. Because I don't know if you guys remember the time I actually cleaned out that cabinet up there one time when I was literally streaming. And I pulled out all of the almonds and I had like two containers of almond flour. I had high vintage. Why didn't it make the noise? It should have made the noise. Oh no. Thank you so much for the raid. Okay, so Kaylee says there's skill sessions being held for master's students and being facilitated by doctorate students as part of their coursework, and they're like 6 throughout the week, and I'm trying to go to all of them just to stay sharp on my counseling skills over the summer. That actually sounds really good. That actually sounds really good and really valuable, and I'm proud of you for doing it. But hi, Whimsy, hi, opting out, hi, how are you guys? How was stream? How was Horizon Zero Dawn? I know you probably have to go to bed, but I mostly only got to watch arts today because then, as I said, I had to go get ready for stuff. But hi, hello. I hope stream went well. Guys, Vintage RPG, if you are not already following her, is streams on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sunday, or Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays usually. Has been playing Horizon Zero Dawn on Thursdays, which has been amazing. Because she never finished it, and then she's going to go on to Horizon Forbidden West, and I'm so excited for all of these things, and I'm so sad that I often miss the last little bit of stream because I need to get ready for my own stream, and I'm just going to have to go back and watch the VOD, unfortunately. But thank you for being here. She also plays a bunch of other things, and she does art, and she makes balloon animals, and I mean, honestly, like, there's just nothing cooler than that. So if you're not already following her, you should be. Vintage says it was deraily as Thursdays generally are lately. I've had lots of work commitments on set, etc. on Thursdays late, so I'm making very, very slow progress through Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is a pretty big game too, right? Like playing it once a week, you're already going to take a while to finish it. And it's a big game. So like that's if you only get through like an hour of content a week, I don't know how many hours it is, probably like 100 hours, right? Like that's 100 days. That's so many. And once a week, that's going to take you 2 years to finish this game. Jane says Horizon Zero Dawn's on the list of games I've started but not finished. That's not based on knowledge. That's just based on me guesstimating. Vengeance says I've played Horizon Zero Dawn before, but I've never played Horizon Forbidden West, and I don't even know the story. Oh. Okay. So that's what it is. It's that you've played through Zero Dawn, but you're like playing through Zero Dawn so that you know everything fresh for Forbidden West. Okay, got it. Belle, hi, Belro. How are you? It's so good to see you. How's it going? How's your early morning been? I don't think I've seen you live this week. Have you been around? Because I actually went looking for you when I woke up a couple of days this week, and I was like, I wonder if Belro's going to be alive. I wonder if there's a good person who's playing Fortnite right now. Vintage plays Baldur's Gate 3 on stream twice, but the time flies past when you're having fun. I'm also laser focused most of the time, so my 3.5 hour stream is usually a solid 3 hours of game. I am not laser focused ever on anything, and thus I only get like an hour of gameplay anytime I stream. Belrose says, no, my sleep schedule got messed up working on getting it back. Okay, all right, good. So at least I haven't just been massively missing things. But hi, good. I'm glad to hear you're getting things back on track. Whimsy says, even when I pull her into conversations about law cases, she's still focused on murder hoboing. I don't think it's murder hoboing if the things that you're massacring are evil possessed machines that are out to destroy the world. I don't think that counts. Maybe BG3 though. BG3 might be murder hoboing, depending on how you play it. Okay, so I'm making granola. But oh right, hi, I'm Leah. If you're here with Vintage, hi, I'm Leah Fireheart. I do a lot of cooking on my channel, usually twice a week. I also play Fortnite a couple of times a week. We sometimes play single player games. We're going to be playing Venba on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is a narrative cooking focused game about Indian immigrants to Canada. And so that's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. I have not seen anything about it, and so I'm really excited to play it because it's like right up my alley. Whimsy says she definitely isn't always killing those ones though. Oh no. Opting out says I'm never laser focused on anything. Leah understatement heart. Fair. Belrose says our AC went out in the middle of the heat wave, so pretty much 2 days of barely sleeping, then had to start over. Oh, golly. Yeah, and actually, gosh, we've just kind of had a year, like a summer of heat wave thus far. There's been a lot of days over 90 degrees, and that's, like, it's not unheard of for us, but I feel like we usually get more days in the 80s than we have in the 90s, and it's definitely been the other way around. Plus thunderstorms, the violent thunderstorms at night. Like last night I was playing Fortnite in Discord with my friends, and my power flickered, like to the point where it disconnected me from the game. So it was out just long enough to take out the Wi-Fi, but not long enough to crash my computer. So we were doing so well, and I got disconnected for the game, and I was really sad. They tried to hit me with the car and bump me into the circle, and they just drove through me. So sad. Opting out says, see, Vintage, it is heckling that I do. I knew it had to be heckling. Vintage says, I drove a lot of people nuts in BG3 the first time because I have a tendency to just look at a group of people and go, they're evil. Sneak attack, and missed a lot of lore. So Vintage not so much interested in the role-playing aspect of the role-playing game and would like to just sneak attack and kill everything. Yeah, Murder Hobo just about covers it, huh? Yeah, pretty much. Whimsy says I was dying every time at it. It was great. That's really funny. I wasn't paying a whole lot of, I don't know that I mean, obviously I watched you play a lot of BG3, but most of the time when I'm in a stream like Vintage's, which is full of a lot of chatters that I know and like a lot, I will very frequently spend more time paying attention to the chat and like listening to Vintage chat at chat than I am paying attention to the gameplay. So there's that. I feel differently about, especially a game like BG3 that I haven't played, right? I feel slightly differently about things like Horizon, where I might actually, I've watched people play it so many times that I might actually have things to say about the game. So there is that. Right, but vintage. I know it's getting late for you. Vintage is Australian and usually streams early in the morning for me, late in the evening for her. So, if you need to go, head off to bed and relax and rest and stuff, please do. If you are coming along on the raid with vintage, you may also perhaps consider going to bed. um, yes. Yes. Or perhaps if you don't intend on bed, perhaps like water or food or a stretch break or other kinds of self-care. So yes. Thank you so much for the raid, Vintage. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a really good sleep tonight. But yes, Whimsy, this is it's a pound cake. It's covered, the end is covered in plastic because we don't want it to dry out. But I made lemon raspberry pound cake on stream on Tuesday. And there's about, 2/3 of it left, probably. But yeah, I got fresh raspberries from the farmer's market, and I decided to make a lemon pound cake with them and put raspberries in it, and that was good. Whimsy says, oh my gosh, that sounds delicious. It is. It's really, really good. It's really good. I think I've just really kind of been eating like one piece a day since I made it. So I had a piece yesterday. Actually, I think I had 2 pieces yesterday. I had one I had one during stream because I wanted to show everybody on stream. And then I had, once I glazed it, and then I had one later after dinner. Okay, I'm gonna chop up some almonds here. So I'm gonna be running this loud food processor for just a second. But today we are not making anything as fun as pound cake. We are making granola, and we are making I was calling it chicken stock, but I realized that one of the bones in there that I thought was a chicken bone was not a chicken bone. And so I have a strong suspicion that I might be just kind of making general stock. I think it might have been a ham bone. I'm not entirely sure. So we're going to use our best guess and say that this might come out tasting more like ham stock than it does like chicken stock. But either way, whatever. It's fine. It'll be good for general purpose cooking or like making beans or whatever. Hi, Brig. So, okay. Oats, almonds, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And this is just like stuff that I don't necessarily get to, basically, like on any given week, right? Like, obviously, like I have to cook because, well, I mean, I don't have to cook. Nobody has to cook. You can eat out all the time or buy frozen food or whatever. But I just mean like, I spend a lot more time making like dinner type food than I do kind of these other random, like nice to have but don't always do kind of things. And so that's what today's about. I like to try to make sure that the brown sugar is pretty incorporated before I start adding wet ingredients because otherwise it has a tendency to clump. So I need a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. I actually probably should have put the vegetable oil in first because then the maple syrup would slide right out. But I am not that smart. Whimsy says it's like nearly 1 a.m., but I realized I didn't take my meds right after dinner. So looking at eating so I can take them, this having to eat a proper meal for meds every time malarkey is very annoying. Hashtag relatable. I don't have to take anything like that right now, but like the times when I have is like, are you kidding me? Like, I have to, like, time this, and then if I forget, I have to eat again. I don't... 2 thumbs down. Unfair. 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So let me grab a measuring spoon here. That, for whatever reason, that like vegetable oil bottle drips a lot. And every time I try to pour something out of it, I get vegetable oil all over my hands. And it's really annoying. Anyway. Kaylee says you should be okay with just a snack since you have something in your tummy already, in my experience. Oh, okay. That's good. I don't know. I don't have opinions on these things because I don't know what Whimsy's taking, and also I don't know anything about anything medical. So I'm just gonna let other people who know better than me handle all that. Okay. Wait, what are we voting on? What are we voting on? Are we voting on things? Was there a poll that I didn't see? I didn't see a poll. Is there a poll? Apparently not. I don't know. Briggs says 1 a.m. sausage sizzle for medical purposes. Oh my God. Whimsy says no, for these meds I have to eat a proper meal right before or it's doom. Kaylee's are just SSRI, so maybe the stakes are not as high regarding eating a meal. Opting out says you need to vote on things to get sausages. It's the Aussie way. Oh, okay. Well, we can put a poll up if that would enable Whimsy to have a 1 a.m. sausage sizzle. Yeah, for democracy sausages. Exactly. Okay. We have 2, count them 2 trays here. And we are going to put half of this mixture on here and half of this mixture on here. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job of eyeballing it, actually. Ta-da! Yay! And there is granola. And then this goes in the oven. Actually, I'm probably not going to really need to stir that. So I'll use this because I definitely need to stir this. 250. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on a second. I have to pull these out of the oven because I need the tray. Let me just put this back here and put this back here so that I have space to put the granola in the oven. Okay. And then this needs to be in the oven for like, I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes. And I have to stir it every 15 minutes, something like that. Right. Okay. So there is a poll. There is a poll. And you can vote in the poll so that Whimsy can eat sausages. What is the charge? Eating a Chinese meal, a succulent Chinese meal, unhand me, 'tis democracy manifest, or a cab. I don't understand the reference, but I'm going to assume that y'all are having a good time. Okay, fruit and nuts, which is not fruit and nuts right now and is just fruit. Let's grab, I think I wanted to use blueberries. raisins, dates, ginger, apricots. That's like a lot of raisins. Why do we have so many raisins? Might have to make oatmeal cookies at some point too. And then a cup of dried fruit. So we're just going to use a cup here and put a cup of dried wild blueberries in a measuring cup so that they are ready to go when it is time to add them to our granola. Put the rest of them back. Kaylee says I had to use points because real answer to meal problem, but also ACAB. I don't actually know how to say that. I've never actually had anybody say that, and I've only ever seen it written out, and so I don't know, like, I mean, it's all, so like, maybe it's ACAB. He says that also that guy who did that bit, wildlife he's lived, fake identities, arrest in Australia in 1991. Oh, ACAB, as you said it before, was bang on. ACAB, like the letter A, then cab. And Jane will be back in a minute. Okay, all right. Thank you, Jane. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for letting me know. I'm being protected only by the tender mercies of Brigitte. Okay. Okay, so, right, timing on granola. I was so right, an hour and 15 minutes. I used to make this so often. And I probably, like, at one point didn't even need the recipe, that I could just do it from memory. It's just been a while. So we're going to set the kitchen timer here. Actually, you know what we're going to do? Can SariBot do 15-minute timers? I think it can. I think it's like that. Hey! Now we can all keep track of the timer, and isn't that fun? We're actually almost ready for our first ad break. So I think I'm just going to chill here for a sec. And wait for the thing to run out. Maka, hi, good morning. I saw you were live this morning. How was your walk? It's so good to see you. Kaylee says, okay, I gotta run, but ACAB, and cheers to all of you, and have great prep time. Thank you, Kaylee. Have a good meeting. We'll see you later. Bye. Walker, hi, good morning. How are you? Another stream, yeah. So it was pointed out to me by my husband yesterday, that unbeknownst to me, I seem to have migrated into a situation where I, accidentally stream 6 days a week. I don't know how exactly that happened. It just did. So my original stream schedule back in the day was Tuesdays and Fridays from 4 to 7. That was what I started with. Then I added a gaming day, and it was, I think, 4 to 7 on Thursdays, as I recall. But over time, it has morphed into, I like to play Fortnite early in the morning because it gets me started for the rest of my day. And then I like go to the gym and like I'm a productive human being. I don't know how playing Fortnite for 3 hours in the morning turned me into like a more productive productive person, but it did. And so that's what I do. And like, and part of my brain doesn't really count those streams because like the point of the stream isn't necessarily the stream. It's to get me up out of bed, having consumed coffee, being ready for the day enough to like go somewhere at 10 o'clock in the morning. Because my brain isn't really like that awake before coffee. So it's like incentive, right? But, and because I'm not on camera, like it doesn't require as much prep because I don't have to be, clean I don't have to have my hair done. I don't have to have makeup on. I don't even have to have clothes on. Although I do wear clothes for streams just in case a camera is turned on somewhere and I accidentally end up on the wrong scene or whatever. But so yeah, I accidentally ended up kind of streaming 6 days a week. We might actually have to take a little bit of a look at that because I was driving Grog home yesterday from IKEA and I was like, gosh, I'm so tired. And he's like, so just this is, you've been tired a lot lately. What's that about? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, you're streaming 6 days a week. And I'm like, oh, I guess I am, aren't I? So right now, yeah, six streams a week. I next week is not going to be as much. I feel like, okay, so here's what I think. First of all, I think in my brain the Fortnite streams don't count because I'm not like on camera and I'm doing something that I might be doing anyway. Like I might just be playing Fortnite in the morning anyway, and so it just doesn't feel like it's a thing. But actually, I think maybe it's actually a thing. And then the other thing is, I often have to cancel a stream here and there. Like sometimes, like I have a headache. Sometimes like I end up having to sleep in and don't have time to prep. Sometimes the dog has a problem. Sometimes Grog has a problem. Sometimes something horrible in the world happens and I just lose all motivation to like move, much less stream. Do you know what I mean? So there's like things, right? It's things. And so yeah. So I just kind of feel like there are times when like if I schedule 6 days and then I have to cancel one, then I'm streaming 5 days and I don't actually have to feel bad about it because like I'm still streaming 5 days and 5 days is a great amount of time. I don't know. What do I know? Yes, so ACAB won the poll thanks to opting out, contributing 3,074 channel points, which is an excellent amount of points for the cause. Belrose says Leah Fireheart after dark. Oh no. I would definitely need to set us to 18 plus. Oh, right. Wait, shit. Hold on. Did we snooze that ad? We did, because Brigitte is the best. Brigitte is the actual best. I assume that was Brigitte. I think Jane wandered off for a moment. Yeah, so the guy whose stream team I'm on, Rotten Twinkies, has been, I think it's gonna turn into like a monthly thing. At first it was kind of like just like a subathon kind of goal thing. But I don't know if he's like just planning on scheduling this regularly or what, but he normally has kind of like a no swearing, no adult content, no adult topics like rule in his chat. And these after dark streams, they get, he does a little bit of alcoholic beverage consumption and people submit confessions and he reads them aloud and it's a wild time. It's really very extremely funny. I have been enjoying those streams. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like here after dark would get a lot wilder than than Twinkie streams do because we're already just a little bit wild. Okay. Well, you're the best at snoozing. You're the best at snoozing ads. I think is what I was saying there. But speaking of snoozing ads, we actually have to take our first ad break. So for those of you who are subscribed or have Twitch Turbo, you will see some clips. For those of you who are not subscribed and don't have any other subscriptions or geographical statuses that would protect you from Twitch ads, you all may see 3 minutes worth of ads. The good thing is you're not going to miss anything because I'm just going to go sit down with the dog. And when we come back, we're going to stir granola, we're going to make some poppy seed dressing, and then we're going to figure out what comes next. See you guys in a few minutes. Right. Okay. I have to take a break. Right? Yeah, we got to run an ad. So I'm going to go back to the lobby, and we will attempt to do better. When we get back.
There's just be placement, man. That's the only way we're gonna get up there is just placement points.
I know, but I don't want to. I don't want to just sit in a bush. It's so sad.
I agree.
All right. Okay, so the way ads work here, Twitch will show us ads whether we like them. So Nether says, you know what happens when in Clue or Cluedo, depending on territory, you've correctly proved that it's not the yellow character? I don't know, Nether.
They got the mustard. Nether, you're a genius. That was so good. That was so good. I should just end stream now. Nothing I say is going to be better than that.
I mean, obviously, like, the famous one is Skinnamarink Dinky Dink, Skinnamarink Doo. I love you. Skinnamarink Dinky Dink, Skinnamarink Doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening underneath the moon. Oh, Skinnamarink Dinky Dink, Skinnamarink Doo. I love you. You know, I started singing it and then dang it all to heck. All right, hold on a second. Y'all, you just, okay. I'll be right back. Actually, you know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna do this. Did you see how those little sniper guys went flying? The best thing about this game are the explosions.
Nope, right there in the bunker. Destroy it! Destroy it! Just go straight.
I can't.
Thank you for sharing your bunker with me. I appreciate it.
What? Dude, exactly what do you think happened there? Every once in a while, I think you could just use a little bit of time for self-reflection, particularly as regards Thanatos and Meg, because both of them are mad at you, and I'm relatively certain that in this instance, it's your fault. So, like, just because you're traumatized doesn't mean you get to take your trauma out on other people, okay? Like, everyone needs therapy here. Forgot, that reminds me. By the way, so, can I do that? No, I can't. Okay. So, we have just two, do we have? Oh, they're chasing.
What's up? Okay.
He's on white, he's on white, he's on white.
No, I'm trying.
Yeah, I knocked him. I'm dead though. Hello and welcome. I opted to have a snack while I was taking a break, and so, there I was, chewing away when the ad timer went off. So, right now, what we need to do, is apparently check things off Finch. That's the thing we're gonna do. Yay. And possibly close some tabs because I have a video on how to learn to roller skate open on my phone. And the reason I'm messing with my phone is not because I don't love you all. It's because the recipe for the poppy seed dressing is on my phone. Balsamic poppy seed dressing. That's fine. It wants me to use white balsamic though, which I don't have. So it's going to end up being not white balsamic dressing. It's going to end up being just regular balsamic dressing. Wait, what? Okay, Brig, Odd Me Out says, it's always after dark somewhere. That's how the sun works. That's true. But I think the implication is after dark where I am. Or after dark where Twinkies is. Which, given that we live in the same state, I don't know where he lives, but given that we live in the same state, are likely to be relatively about the same time. Coincidentally. All right, so Brig
You're
says,
hot,
when the heck did
cupcake.
this song happen? I freaking love it. What is going on with these sound redeems? Because it didn't play two sounds from Lumia. Are you guys getting sounds? Because I did have a Windows update, and so that may have effed with things. Alice heard it. Jane heard it. Did you guys hear the raid? Did anyone care for fruit? Does anyone care for fruit or dessert? When Vintage raided? Brig, I don't know what song you're talking about because I have clips muted on my end. A lot of the time what happens on ad breaks is I talk to, like, I end up talking to Grog or something, and so I just don't want the noise in my ears. And so unless I'm standing here looking at them, I don't always know what it says. So I don't know what song that was. I was sitting back there with Chester. Um, Brig has a new favorite clip and it's Leah singing. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Wait. What? Opting Out says there's a whole subgenre of roller skate music. Shaw Pro style and et al. I don't even know what that is. This is literally just like tutorial videos on how to roller skate. So I last 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, Grog and I went to our first roller derby match. And I don't know that I want to do roller derby necessarily, but I did look at them skating and I was kind of like, that looks like that might be fun. I want to try it. I haven't roller skated since I was a kid and I wanted to try it. And it took me a while to kind of wrap my head around the idea of spending like $150 on like skates and a helmet and protective padding and all of the things that one would need in order to teach oneself how to roller skate again at 46 years old. But I decided that because I've been having a little bit of trouble motivating myself to get to like the gym. For a while that worked. For a while I could bribe myself with TV shows. For a while, but like all of these things are a little bit inconsistent. And I do a lot better with stuff when I have some kind of internal motivation to do it. When it's not an external factor being like, you should go to the gym and exercise. Be going to the gym and exercising is good for your health and your doctor will be sad if you don't, you know? And it just doesn't work. Like I have to enjoy it. Otherwise I won't do it consistently. And also because relying on motivation, like on some kind of determination, discipline, or motivation to go do something almost never works for me. I need something else. Okay, time 2. Stir. Wait, hold on. We gotta set this for 15 minutes again. Sorry. Set this for 15 minutes again and stir the granola. Actually, let me just move this. And then also, I'm going to take a quick peek and make sure. Yep, that's bubbling. That's perfect. Excellent. And that's just going to go for like 3 hours. So I don't have any, like that could honestly like bubble there on the counter on the stove for like ever. Okay. Whenever I do this, I end up with like oats in the bottom of my oven. You would think I would be smart and pull it out of the oven to stir it. But no, I'm not that smart. Okie dokie. And that's basically just so that it browns evenly. All right. Briggs says, well, it was a song where you were being super cute. I don't know. Oh, Skinnamarink Dinky Dink. Oh, that's Sharon Lewis and Briam. That's some of the best in children's television that Canada has to offer. I think they're Canadian. I don't think they're from the US. Jane really likes granola. I also really like granola. And I had Grog buy me some of that honey Greek yogurt granola. I mean, it's honey Greek yogurt so that I can put granola in it. So I'm very excited about this. Opting Out is gonna find and link some stuff when he's back in the house with the real computer. Fantastic. I love that. They would indeed be Canadian if such a place existed. Yes. I don't know where they're from though. I don't know. I don't know where they're from. I don't know where they're from in Canada. I'm sorry. I barely knew that they were from northern parts. And I don't know. Baker, hi, good morning. Sodium, 90 milligrams. Hi, hello. Is that a cake of some sorts? Can I have a slice? It is indeed a cake of some sorts. It is, in fact, a lemon raspberry pound cake with lemon glaze that we made on Tuesday and have not yet finished. We finished making it. We just didn't finish eating it. And yes, you are absolutely welcome to have a slice. All of you are. Whimsy says that I hear it's a mythical place that's similar to a hat. Yes. Right. Okay, so I kind of want to, I don't know how I want to do this. It's going to have canola oil and olive oil in it, and so I'm kind of thinking this is something that probably should be made in like a blender or something, but also it has poppy seeds and sesame seeds, and I don't want to blend those, and so I'm confused. We're just gonna have to ponder this for a moment. Opting out says, did hats gleefully participate in colonial projects? Probably. Opting out says they started in Toronto. Okay, cool. Thank you. Anyway, so yes, it is Sharon, Lois, and Bram. And there are hand motions. And I don't remember the hand motions as clearly as I do the lyrics. But if you would like me to sing it again, I can. Also, Sharon, Lois, and Bram, you know how our friend Joe, right? You know about Cool Runnings? You know about Joe? So our friend Joe, every time I see Joe, particularly specifically in Paul's chat, because Joe will come say hi to Paul in the early mornings, Paul STL, will come say hi to Paul in the early mornings on Sundays, and he will say, and he will say, like, hi everyone, like, hi, good morning everyone, because he's, polite and friendly, and he does things like that. He's not just a gremlin lurking in the shadows like me at 7 a.m. Anyway, so, and then a lot of the time I'm like, oh, well, Joe and I are like, Joe is in Michigan and I'm on the East Coast. And if Joe's going to say hi, I should say hi because I'm actually probably technically more awake. And so I say, hi, Joe. And then my brain does this. Are you busy? I says, no. Then push this button with your right hand. And this is also Sharon, Lois, and Bram. So I don't know how I ended up with this problem, this specific problem, but this is a problem. This is just what my brain does. Briggs says restrains Matt Mercer. No, Matt Mercer. She doesn't know how she wants to do this. I don't know. I mean, I know who Matt Mercer is, but I don't understand Matt Mercer references because I don't do Critical Role. Opting out says at least you don't end up going anywhere with a gun in your hand. Typically not. But why is that necessarily a problem? You go lots of places with a gun. Don't you? Like you go to like other places, like not even that close to you. What, Baker's just lolling at me. I probably deserve that. I don't know. I cannot account for what my brain does on any given day. I cannot account for the fact that while we were watching the Fantastic Four trailer in Alamo Drafthouse when we went to see Jurassic Park Rebirth this weekend, my brain went, oh look, Pablo Neruda is in this. I don't care about the Fantastic Four, but I want to go see Pablo Neruda in this movie. Oh, well, you're not judging, you swear. I hope you're not judging. Noob, hi, good morning. Opting out says, yeah, but not in a domestic violence context a la a Hendrix song. Oh, now I get it. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry for that implication. That was not an on purpose implication. It was because I didn't understand the reference until you enlightened me, but now I know what you're talking about. Okay. Are we just going to do this in a bowl? Maybe we're just going to do this in a bowl with a whisk. And I think we're just going to accept that because we're not going to use it now anyway. And I'm just going to put it in a container, which means it's going to have to sit out on the counter. I'm going to have to shake it or something anyway. And so this is fine. I have decided that all of this is fine. How was your day, noob? Regardless, I'm glad you're here. Always good to see you. All right. I need different measuring cups because these ones are inadequate to my purposes. Now my brain is still like, hi, my name is Joe, and I work in a button factory. I have a wife and a dog and a family. One day, the boss came up to me and he said, hi, Joe, are you busy? I says, no. Then push this button with your right hand. And then you go right back into, hi, my name is Joe. Until Joe is pushing buttons with his nose in an absolute parody of the ridiculousness of capitalism. I'm not sure that's their aim exactly, but also that's kind of the effect of it. This has half a cup of sugar in it, which seems like a lot of sugar to me, but we're just going to go with it. Noob says good. The whole rebuilding thing we're closing for the next 6 weeks is going shockingly well. Oh, you're recoding the pieces of slapped together code thing, right? Opting out says we should unionize the button factory. We totally should. We should totally unionize the button factory. Or buy it out and turn it into a workers' co-op. Or burn it down. There's options, is what I'm saying. Agreed. Yes, unionize all the things. I agree. 1.5 tablespoons of poppy seeds. 1. So this is a 1/2 tablespoon. We're going to put 3 of these in here. 2. 3. I'm going to super celebrate when we finally empty this jar of poppy seeds. I don't know why that feels like an accomplishment to me, but it totally does. I don't really think of poppy seed things. Do you guys think of poppy seed things? I need 1.5 tablespoons of sesame seeds now, which should be up here somewhere. Yes. Oh, I forgot that I was going to put like flax or something into the granola. Heckin' hex. Oh well. Next time. 1, 2, 3. Jane says we can celebrate that so hard. Wait, I don't know. That's actually really funny. I feel like other people celebrate like streaming milestones. I was actually literally just thinking on the break that like I never posted any of my social medias that like I joined the Twitch Food and Drink Creator Club, or that I joined Rotten Twinkies stream team. I feel like most other streamers they're gonna do like a whole stream for each one of those things. They're gonna be like, big announcement coming at noon. Do you know what I mean? And then like the big announcement is that they joined a stream team, and I just didn't do that. I was just like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that I did these things, and I did them on the week that I took off, and so I just didn't ever really bother to like let you guys know that this had happened. And I don't know, is that important? Other people seem to think that it's important, but I was just thinking, in general, I think in general, and this is true for me, it may also be true for you, I tend not to think about celebrating things. I celebrate your wins. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think of it. I don't think of it. I should think of it, and I don't think of it. Baker says maybe we can make some poppy seed cupcakes / muffins. I did make a poppy seed loaf. Was it almond poppy seed? I can't remember what I made, but I made a thing initially when we had the poppy seeds. And now I still have a lot of poppy seeds. We still have plenty of poppy seeds, so we can do another poppy seed thing. Maybe we'll do another Kitchen Chore Thursday or something, and we can do more poppy seed things. Opting out says, you need us to send you some confetti cannons. I don't think so. There are very few things that Grog draws the line at, okay? Grog, for the most part, is down with whatever I want to do, especially if it's like a silly stream thing. Do you remember when I attached a whole bunch of balloons to my ceiling and then we did that charity stream and one of the things that we did was a balloon drop? And Grog helped me at some risk to life, limb, and sanity secure a whole bunch of balloons to the ceiling. When I indicated that I had received with the balloons multicolored confetti, it was just a thing that came with them when I bought the balloons. If I could put the confetti up there with the balloons, I thought that might be festive. And he was like, absolutely not. You absolutely not. No confetti. And I was like, okay, that's a fair line. I respect this boundary. So Grog has ruled out confetti, much like I rule out swords in the house. I think it's a fair trade. Or a bunch of packets of relish. Baker, don't you fucking dare. Like pickle confetti. No pickle confetti. You're also going to poison the dog. No swords and no confetti. Opting out says, I bet you, Grog, would allow confetti if you withdrew your arbitrary sword rules. Okay, so here's the thing that's not fair about this, right? There's a thing that is spectacularly unfair in our life and in our relationship. If I were to say to Grog, please, the confetti is important to me. I would really love to be able to drop confetti all over our house. I might also have to promise to clean it up, but if I were to say that this was an important thing and I really wanted to be able to do this, he would relent and say that I could do it. He would. However, I will not relent on this no swords in the house rule. I'm sorry. I just will not. I will not. Maybe we could compromise and he could swing a sword in the bedroom. There's nothing really that he could break in there. Except maybe the ceiling fan, but he installed that anyway, and so if he breaks it, it's his problem. Maybe we could negotiate. There might be room to negotiate. All right. Sesame seeds. I need a teaspoon of paprika. Guys. So ridiculous. Paprika. Dried mustard. Mustard powder. Oh, look, the mustard powder is a product of a country that doesn't exist. See? It says the country of origin right on the mustard powder. 1, 2. Okay. Stirring granola. We need another 15 minutes on the timer. Hold on. 15 minutes. All right. See, this is why it's nice to have like other things going, right? Because if I needed to if I were gonna make granola, in my actual free time, time when I'm not live, I have a strong suspicion that I would end up playing Fortnite with people or something while I did it. And then the timer would go off and I wouldn't stir the thing because we would be in a match and I would forget. And you know what I mean? This is just better. I am going to swap it this time though, because the bottom tray is definitely not getting as browned as the top tray. Okay. There. Aha, okay. Opting out says, this is a tangent, but I heard somewhere the other day that a successful relationship isn't 50-50 effort. It's 60-40, with both halves trying to be the 60. Ah. Opting out says, poly folks can adjust the percentages as required. Good morning, geek. Thanks for the lurk. I appreciate it. All right, dried mustard. I need a tablespoon of dried minced onion, which I don't know that I have. I don't know that I have that. So we might end up having to make a, like, okay, actually, paprika can go up here because, yeah. Black sesame seeds, saffron, rosemary. In fact, actually, I think the rosemary can go up here too. So I'm not sure that I have, onion. I'm not sure that I have onion flakes. So all right, let's just look through some of these things because some of these things might be onion flakes. I don't know. I have like a bunch of little samples of spices here. But none of them are in fact onion flakes. Okay, so the question is, do I perhaps have some in here? You guys, I have so many. Oh, ha! You know what? I do. Look at me. Look at me go. Okay, I don't think I have a whole tablespoon, but I might be close. Onion flakes. Close enough. Almost a tablespoon of dried minced onion. I'm glad I looked because that's another spice container used up. Another spice container that obviously I don't use very often because I didn't realize I had it. Okay, a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use the fine sea salt because it doesn't specify. And then a teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. That might need to be smaller. I'm just eyeballing this, obviously. Close enough. And now we mix these things up and we add balsamic vinegar. I've actually had a bunch of things lately that call for white balsamic, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Guys, I have so many different kinds of vinegar that I'm just kind of like, I just kind of don't wanna. I just kind of don't wanna. Like, I have regular balsamic, I have champagne vinegar, I have apple cider vinegar, I have sherry vinegar, I have rice wine vinegar, I have red wine vinegar. I just, that's a lot of kinds of vinegar. Mega Burger, hi, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to here. All right, so a half cup. If it says white balsamic, we're just going to use regular balsamic and hope that it's okay because I just have so many different kinds of vinegar and I don't need more. All the bottles of acidic goodies. Yes. So many acidic goodie bottles. All right, so the half cup is going in the sink because now I need a third cup for the various oils. At the moment, I'm just making salad dressing and stirring granola. But yes, in general, there is food here, in fact. I'm actually probably going to try to kind of dissolve the sugar in the vinegar here because otherwise I have a strong suspicion the sugar isn't going to get dissolved and it's just going to sink to the bottom. So what are you having for food tonight, noob? You're probably closer to dinner than anyone else. This is so much salad dressing. This is going to be so much salad dressing. This is like a bottle of salad dressing. actively munching on pizza. Okay. What are the top 3 pizza toppings in the Netherlands? We get to do this. We get to do this fun thing again. This is a thing that's fun for me. I'm so weird. I love hearing about what other places put on their pizza because pizza toppings vary tremendously across countries. Okay, that's starting to look pretty good. All right, now 1/3 of a cup. Jane says I'm not new, but I think I want tacos for dinner. Ooh, tacos. I was saying earlier that we're gonna have crab cake burgers. Actually, you know what I could have done? I could have made buns today. I could have made burger buns. I didn't think of that. Well, it's probably too late now because it would have to I would need to yeasterize them. Have I made burger buns on the channel before? I know I've used the burger buns I've made before, but I don't know if I've actually made them. Mega Burger says it's 1906. What's 1906? Oh, the time for you. Oh, so you might also be in Europe. I see. Aha, yes. Sorry, it took me a second. You know, I realize that's like perfectly normal and usual for Europeans, but Americans would have to pause and think about what is meant by 1906 because we don't tend to use a 24-hour clock. Okay. Noob would say tuna, salami, or the 4 cheeses thing. Okay, so 4 cheeses thing makes perfect sense. Like 4 cheeses is seems obvious. We have salami on pizza, but not probably as often as pepperoni. Pepperoni probably being much more common. And so can we talk about the tuna? Can we discuss for a moment tuna on pizza? Because I require more details. Is it just the tuna? Is it fresh tuna? Is it canned tuna? Is it a red sauce? Is it a white sauce? Please explain tuna. Also, what's on your pizza? Sorry, that bottle just gets so messy. Jane says, I think you have. I feel like I remember you making buns before. Okay, maybe. That would probably be good. Okay, so Mega Burger says, have you heard about this weird pizzas in Sweden? Yes, 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 yes. I follow a Fortnite streamer who lives in Greece, but she's Swedish. And I have heard of banana curry pizza. Banana slices with curry powder, often ham and cheese. Also pizza africana, topped with bananas, pineapple, peanuts, and chicken. The kebab pizza piles on doner meat, sauces, lettuce, and sometimes fries. It's a capsulon pizza. Some even come with shrimp mussels, boiled eggs, and mayo. And don't be surprised to see bears. Oh no, more ChatGPT. Oh no. Okay. Opting out says I've got a quick but pretty decent dinner roll recipe that can be pushed into service as a burger bun in a pinch. Of course you do. Noob says I would prefer the classic way of finding information on the internet. Yeah. Myrrh, hi, how are you? Good morning. How's it going? Belrose says, unless you're a vet or active duty. Wait, what? What do you mean unless you're a vet or active duty? What does that mean? Opting out says tuna on pizza sounds like a bologna to me. Whimsy says democracy sausages and accompanying foods consumed. Thank you all for your service. Whimsy, did you genuinely eat sausage? I love that so much I can't even tell you. Noob says, okay, explaining tuna, just the basic tomato sauce and cheese base and just shove some canned tuna on it. Capsulon pizza! Noob! We need it! Do we need it? We might need it! The only thing is that Grog can't have the cheese, but there's probably enough things on that we could make capsulon pizza with the fries and the donor meat. It's like perfect. I have too many friends who live in the Netherlands. I don't know how else to explain this. I don't know if I need to make this big a container of this, but it'll shake up better if I do. So let's do this. This is just salad dressing. This is not, this is just my random, like, things that I had intended to do and haven't yet done stream day. It's just sort of like catching up on random kitchen chores day. So if you have random kitchen chores. Anyway, Myrrh, how did the I know they ended up being more like rough puff cinnamon rolls than croissant cinnamon rolls, but how did those go? Actually, you know what? I need tape. I need tape, and I need a Sharpie, and I need to probably mark this. Where's my tape? Did it get put away somehow? It did get put away. 2 thumbs down. Because my pastry chef isn't here, I can tear the tape. This is so exciting. We did a poll and everything. We did. I'm glad that worked out for you, Whimsy. I'm glad we were able to provide some inspiration that was actually helpful for once. Okay, so Noob says current pizza, just a basic store-bought oven pizza with tomato sauce, cheese, salami, onion, paprika, and canned tuna. I have never seen canned tuna on a pizza. Where, depending on where you all are, where have you ever seen canned tuna on a pizza? Poppy seed, balsamic dressing. All right. Just because when I look at this in this container in the fridge in a week, I won't remember what that is. Okay. Opting out says we voted. Whimsy was legally required to have sausage. That's the law. Ask Vintage. We will ask Vintage the next time that we see Vintage. Whimsy says I'm very, very full for nearly 2 a.m. Exactly. I would have been breaking the law had I not done it. Noob says I've had it. It's stellar. I personally prefer the no fries version because it fights with the pizza base. It's just too many carbs. Is it just too many carbs? Briggs says, I mean, who hasn't been very full of democracy sausage at 2 a.m.? I haven't. Noob has also had frikandel pizza. It was horrible. I don't know what that is. What is that? Baker says, all I know is I wanted some after she brought them out of the oven. Oh, the cinnamon rolls? Yeah. And I remember I saw that Belrose said the military clock. That's definitely a thing. Briggs says the first time I saw tuna on a pizza was in the Swiss, French, Italian border country. Also, no canned tuna on pizza. Omega's Prime says canned tuna on pizza. Says no, that's a no for me. Belro has seen sliced hot dogs and hard-boiled eggs on pizza in Sicily and artichoke hearts. I've definitely seen artichoke hearts. Okay, so Noob says also this is more a me thing, but I put the tuna on after baking the pizza. Right, okay, granola stirring time. This is great. This is fantastic. We need, oh wait, hold on. It's actually better if I do this before or I won't remember to do it. So first of all, let's do this. 15 more minutes until more stirring. If you are not in the US, what things are common? Because I'm in the US. I mean, I guess if you're in the US, you can also answer this because there are also some regional things, right? Like there's definitely regional things about pizza. Some things are more likely to end up on pizza like in like Connecticut than they are like in California or vice versa, which is probably why I've had artichoke hearts on pizza. That may be a California thing. But what would be perfectly normal for you to have on pizza that other people might be like, what? You put that on pizza? Jane says one of my favorite pizzas here has artichoke hearts on it. Noob says the other. I really need a haircut. Okay. The other Dutchies have been slacking if you don't know what frikandel is. It's a skinless sausage, usually of mixed chicken, beef, and pork mince, very finely minced and then deep fried. It's a fast food snack bar kind of thing. I had no idea. I don't know, because I feel like me and the other folks from the Netherlands have other things in common besides food. So, like, in general, I didn't meet them through food stuff. Actually, I didn't meet you through food stuff, so I don't know. But I feel like I don't know that I've actually really discussed food with Nether that much. I feel like I've not really discussed food with Mel that much. I think Windows messed something up. You guys are hearing the noises, but I'm not. This is so weird. Anyway, hi. Hello. Hi. Thunder Ruth. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for the raid. Notes of Sophie. Hi. I love your thunder emote. Briggs says taco pizza. Oh, a Midwest thing. Have to have taco pizza. Opting out says in uni, I would add tomato paste to tuna melt. So getting the same thing from the other direction. I can see it working. There we go. Hello and welcome. Let's see, what were you doing? You were playing Tomb Raider 2. How did you find us? So, I know that Briggs a big Tomb Raider fan. I've not played any of these, any Tomb Raider games, but hi, hello and welcome. How was your stream? How did it go? Because I don't know you, I can't say anything about you. So if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, please do. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Please tell us about yourself in your stream. Oh, Brig recommended. Okay. That makes perfect sense then. Thank you. Now I understand. Hi, I'm Leah. I do a lot of cooking here on my channel. Today we are doing random stuff. I'm stirring granola. I'm letting stock boil on the stove. I just finished making a poppyseed balsamic dressing. We're just clearing out things that I need to use up and pulling things out of the freezer that we need to like move into the like actual rotation so that it's edible. I mean, just little kitchen chores is really what today's about. I also play Fortnite. We occasionally play single player games. Friday, tomorrow, 4 p.m. we're going to be playing a little narrative cooking game called Venba, if you've heard of that. So if you're more of the gaming sort and would like to come back for gaming, that will happen tomorrow and Saturday. Oh, right. Yeah, actually, let me drop you a follow too. So that I can come by and check out your stream. What else do you play besides Tomb Raider? Okay. It was fun. It's my first time playing and I'm really enjoying it. I mostly play retro games. At the moment's lots of 90s stuff. Okay, so Noob likes the sound of this. I haven't had any water. How many hours am I into stream? I'm almost 2 hours into stream, right? And I haven't even screwed the top on my water bottle, which means I've had no water since then. Just terrible. So that's terrible. Donkey Kong Country last week. Well, okay, so those of you who are fans and friends of Vintage RPG, who has also played retro Donkey Kong Country on stream, here's a potential other person for you to go hang out with and watch. Noob says I love the sound of it, apart from the idea that I'm apparently retro. So it's so funny because retro has a totally different meaning in the antique community than it does in the video game community. In the antique community, like I think of Hollow Knight as being a retro game just because it's like a side-scrolling platformer type. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think of that as being like a new game that is done in the style of an older game, or like the art style of an older game. And so I think of that as retro. And I know that's not what video game players mean by it, but it throws me off every time, because in the antique world, a retro thing is a thing that is not actually an antique but looks like one. So like if you see like well, like all my pinup dresses. So like all the little pinup dresses that I wear are not actually vintage dresses. They're contemporary dresses made of new fabric that are done in the style of older dresses. So they're retro dresses. Just like, it's so confusing. Um Opting out says noob is retro. Leah and I are antiques. That's what I'm hearing here. Yes. Noob says, oh yeah, I think I've heard that kind of usage as well. I think Shovel Knight has been touted as retro on release. Thunder Ruth says, yeah, that's what retro really means. I should be saying vintage games, but then people will think I'm talking about the 70s. Oh yeah, and I'm not taking issue with anyone's personal usage of it. It's just that sometimes, and because Twitch has like a whole category of retro, like it's like I know what it means. It's not like I'm confused or anything. It's just that like it throws me off sometimes when I'm like, okay, so are we talking about games like Hollow Knight, or are we talking about games like Donkey Kong Country? Because that's a totally different thing. Anyway, so Ruth, if you need to go take care of yourself, have some water, have a snack, take care of other members of your household, if you need a screen break or stretch break, please go do that. Thank you again for the raid. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Brig, for the recommendation. I appreciate that too. And hopefully you will choose to come back here sometime in the future. I'd love to get to know you a little better. Okay, so Noob says, to be fair, I'd love someone firing up the oscilloscope and start streaming to Twitch with it. Okay, so Ruth also did play through Shovel Knight for the first time this year and loved it, and then recently played through Castlevania and Mega Man and could see how they influenced it. Briggs says, I've been hearing some great design chatter about Shovel Knight, and Ruth says if I could do that and play Space War and the first tennis game, I would. What the heck are we talking about? What the heck are we talking about? So the oldest game that I played was it wasn't Pong. It was what is it called? I always forget what it's called. It's the one with the platform that moves and you use the ball to break the tiles above. That's the oldest video game I ever played. And apparently it was in the arcade before it was available on Macintosh computers. But I first played it on a Macintosh computer. Breakout! 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 That's what it is. Breakout. That's the first game I ever played. And there was basically like nothing else at the time. There was a Hitchhiker's Guide. Eventually, like a year or two later, there was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego that my neighbor purchased for his kids. And the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy game, which when you encounter the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy video game, before you have ever encountered the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, when you are 8 years old and playing on your neighbor's computer, and you have absolutely no idea why there is a mirror and a toothbrush and a yellow bulldozer, and you have absolutely no idea how to navigate this absolutely bizarre world that Douglas Adams created, that game makes absolutely no sense. If you've read the book, it's probably fine, but otherwise it is an absolutely surreal trip that an 8-year-old is definitely unprepared for. Okay, so Noob says, okay, technically it was the late 50s and 60s, but the first digital games were made on oscilloscopes. Opting out says, I can say confidently without looking that someone has certainly pressed a microcontroller into service as a game on oscilloscope machine. Ruth said I had a Pong set when I was a kid, a hand-me-down. I'm not that old. What about Zork? Belrose says, what about Zork? What about Zork? It's so fun to be old here together, isn't it? I feel so old in other places, and we're not actually even that old. And you know which places I mean with all these 20-something-year-olds. Opting out says digital oscilloscopes are pretty cheap now. Briggs says the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy game is famously obscure. Press return to find out. I presumably opting out knows then. Ruth says Zork was one of the first games I played on stream. I loved it. This is so funny. Brig is likely to be eaten by a grue. Ruth says, I've never tried the Hitchhiker's Guide game. Listened to the radio series as a kid. Loved the books and the TV show. I'd really try the text adventure. You totally should. You totally should. I would love to watch that. Just because I was so confused. I mean, and the thing is too that like, so this is the neighbor. This is the same neighbor. We've been talking about these neighbors recently a lot. Why? Why are we talking about these neighbors all the time recently? But this is the set of neighbors who, the wife was from the UK or was from England, and the husband was American, and they met during the Vietnam War when he was stationed on Crete, and she was a nurse. And so they met and they got married and they moved to the US and they became our neighbors. I mean, this is other stuff too, but like, anyway. And so I have a strong suspicion that she probably is influencing his, because Hitchhiker's Guide wasn't as much of a thing here as it was there as early, you know? I actually I never heard about it until I was a teenager, except for the fact that I had played this game. And it was so very confusing at 8. And then I read the books and I was like, oh, now I see why the game was confusing. There would have been absolutely no way I could have possibly gotten the right answers there. But you guys know he programmed that himself, right? Douglas Adams stopped writing books, or stopped writing as many books, and got into video game design. And that's like what happened. He designed that game himself. Ruth said I've never tried. Oh, we've got that. But Whimsy says we're all in danger of that. All in danger. Of what? Feeling old in other places where there's just so many 20-somethings. Yeah. Ruth said I didn't actually know Adam's kids. I mean, I don't know if he like had help or anything. I don't know like the full like context of it, but I do know that he got very, very into designing video games and just stopped being as interested in writing books anymore. Which is fine. You know, people who are multi-talented often shift directions. Looking at me, the person who started out my career in event planning and moved into marketing and then quit marketing to open a dog treat baking business and closed the dog treat baking business to open an antique resale business, and then is now a Twitch streamer. Anyway, we all have different ideas about things. Whimsy says being old, being eaten by a grue, many things. Yeah. Briggs says Douglas Adams is the OG Toby Fox. Who's Toby Fox? You 20-somethings? Wait, Brig isn't 20-something. I'm gonna have to Google this because I don't know who that is. American video game developer and composer. He is 33 years old. And he made, I don't know, something. He made video games. Brig says Brig might be 20-something. Brig is not 20-something. Abby says Douglas Adams wishes he had the capacity to create Tumblr's sexy men like Toby Fox does. Okay, now I have lots of questions. Also, welcome back, Abby. Good to see you. Ruth says, I've heard stories of how his publisher or someone similar had to lock him in a room and force him to finish a book because Adams had suddenly become interested in working on something else. That sounds like him. Opting out says, do you think you would have stuck longer with any of your previous endeavors if you had had a chat to heckle you into line? Maybe. I gotta be honest, maybe. Because the thing is that, like, the things that, like, frustrated me about my previous positions, like, well, I mean, there were a few things, right? So, like, when I quit my, well, I mean, I don't know, there were some other detours there, too. I actually quit my first event planning job because I thought I wanted to be a writer and go to grad school in Newfoundland, and I didn't end up doing that, but, like, I did think that might happen. I got in and everything. I just didn't go. Did the thing go off? I think the thing went off. Let's just stir this anyway, because there's only 12 minutes left, which leads me to believe that I may have actually missed a timer on my granola. And so I feel like if someone had heckled me into actually going to grad school, I might have actually gone to grad school. you know, maybe in Newfoundland, maybe not, but you know, um, so, so, um, yeah, and then like other things, right? Like one of the jobs. So one of the jobs I quit essentially because of stupidity and not my stupidity, someone else's stupidity and sexism. Like that was a thing. Yeah. Yeah, and then there was more, there was like really like serious workplace toxicity in one of those places. And I feel like if I'd had the kind of level of support from a chat that I have now when I'm doing the streaming thing, I feel like that actually might have gone differently. You might not be wrong. Oh, see, there's the timer. Um Okay. What? Oh, he made Undertale. Okay. Got it. All right. So Avi's right. He's the Michelangelo of Tumblr sexy men. I'm so confused. Opting out says chat wouldn't have sent you to grad school. We know better than that. Okay, that's fair. Noob says the concept of trying to haggle with a chat in the background, yelling about all prices that are not $69 or $420 or $69 sounds rough, but very funny as an observer. Leah going to rad school though. Abby says Leah needs a perpetual Waldorf and Stadler present to heckle her into completing tasks. Opting out would have supported you in fighting the patriarchy. That is accurate. You see what I'm saying? I feel like this might have actually gone better had I had a chat. I honestly, I think I can honestly say that might be the case. All right, so rather than actually using a different bowl, I'm just gonna wash this one. But I'm gonna need to, because I'm gonna need to pour the granola into a bowl and like toss all of the granola with the dried fruit here in a second. So let me just wash this bowl rather than using another one. Won't Grog be happy to see not an entire sink full of bowls when he gets home? Also, why is the water taking so long to heat up? It's like 175 degrees outside. Fahrenheit. Is there something wrong with the water heater? What is going on here? Oh no, it's just taking forever. Yeah, I don't know why that took so long. Usually we get hot water almost immediately. Especially when the water coming in from outside isn't precisely cold. Just ask my poor hair. I feel like I'm gonna have to start washing my hair in ice water or something. Okay. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Noob says, fun fact. Conventionally speaking, Toby Fox isn't really that good of a programmer. A lot of his code is messy, incomplete, or unoptimized. The lesson from that is go do stuff. Even if you're bad at it, you may be doing way better than you think. Yeah, and then get somebody who actually knows what they're doing to just like quickly edit it for you. Quickly, in like 2 years, edit it for you so that it's optimized and your game runs well. Details. Okay. Here are the blueberries. Amazing. And those granolas will be ready to go in just a second. Briggs says in code can always be tidied. The thing just needs to exist. Noob says the man uses one single massive if-else statement for all dialogue, which is wild. I don't know what that means, but I just believe you. Opting out says an error I still make is optimizing things and worrying about resources and then end up wasting time on code that's running on a system that's way more powerful than is needed. Could have been sloppy and done 2 projects instead. Noob says that game sold literal millions of copies without optimizing it. It's a 2D game. It's fine. Abby says it's pretty self-explanatory. Tumblr finds very specific characters / people sexy. At this point, I don't know what's a bit and what isn't, but said list includes but isn't limited to Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, Slender Man, Minecraft Steve, Doc Ock from Spider-Man, Loki from Marvel, and Onsler from the Lorax. Okay, I've encountered the Loki thing because of romance novel people. But the other ones are confusing to me. I have not been on Tumblr since Tumblr was a haven for pornography. And that's not why I was on Tumblr. It was just that there was a backlash against Tumblr for a little bit, particularly because the circles that I was running in at the time, they were like they were very anti like sex related censorship, just because like that was some of their content. And I don't mean like literal pornography. I just mean kind of like sexy pictures as inspiration boards on their Tumblrs, and like using that as like a marketing tool and stuff. And so in general, I just kind of like left Tumblr and didn't go back when all of my friends left. That's basically what happened. Um uh oh, one slur. Okay, I see. Abby says I left because the queer discourse got too hostile for me. That is also very fair. Yes, so Jane points out we do have ads incoming. In fact, we have ads incoming in about 45 seconds. So I'm going to do my spiel. Probably when we finish. Yeah, okay. So we'll be putting our granola back together after this. I'm probably gonna take another. I'm gonna probably be live for another hour because I've got a couple of other things I want to do. So those of you who are subscribed, you will see probably Chester this time. If you're not subscribed, if you live in a place where ads are shown to you, you may see 3 minutes worth of ads. You won't miss anything. I'm just gonna chill. You guys can chat, and when we come back, more granola, I guess. I'll be back. Hello and welcome back, friends. All right, so, okay, what have we got? Pronouns, Sarybot. Okay, Brig wants to know who we're fighting, which is a fair question. Brig says, who is Chester's favoriteest Tumblr sexy man? Noob says, Jack Skellington. That would probably work. Okay, so Abby says, we'll yell allies are welcome in queer spaces and see who goes actually and go from there. Brig says, forgive me, but you're technically not an ally, right? You're literally the community. Abby says, yes, but I've been miffed by how some queer spaces have been hostile to allies and just a general policing going on. I think that's yeah, you know, I don't actually have I don't necessarily have opinions. I know that there's lots of people with various arguments on both sides of that debate, and both can be toxic and both can be not. And so I just kind of feel like it's a hard thing to discuss as a generality for me. Belrose says, I put on my headset to make a call and couldn't figure out where the music was coming from. Oh, it's like the sleepy lullaby music. I'm sorry. That's like, there's dog snores in there too. So hopefully that enlightened you a little bit. Abby says it is indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because it's like one, you don't want to be hostile to the people that are like actually trying to help, but also like there are people who are just trying to help who actually aren't helping. And so to try to like distinguish between those people when there are definitely people of both stripes, I think is really hard. And yeah, and you get people who are like claiming that the A in LGBTQIA plus stands for ally, and that's actually not true. And so I mean, so it's just a hard thing to discuss as a generality, I think, without getting into specifics of specific situations and specific particular opinions. Um, okay, we are almost ready. There's like 15 seconds left on our timer for our granola. And so what's happening now is that, so I did actually say that one of the things that I wanted to do was wipe off this specific countertop. So we're going to go ahead and put this cake here so that we can torture you guys with cake. Oh, all right. Well, we should probably take this out first. Off with that. And then this, and we're going to use our hopefully still asbestos hands to put all of this in here. And I actually like to do this when it's still like actually hot, like actually pretty still hot from the oven. And the reason is that it kind of like softens up the dried fruit and makes some of the like stuff stick to it. And I like that. So your mileage may vary. You may want to let it cool first if that's not a desirable trait for you. But this is just how I like it. I will let it cool in the bowl though before I put it away, because if you put it away while it is, there's a Lego llama in my granola. I should probably fix that. Oops. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that this goes like this. There's the Lego llama back up on his perch. Thanks, Brig. Okay. Brig is still going to have words with those people for upsetting Abby. That's a fair thing. Okay, Abby's coming from a place where I'd gone with I'm an ally because it was easier than being out in any way, but I still wanted to show my support and care for everyone. And man, the amount of gatekeeping I faced was staggering. Well, Abby, I wasn't laughing at that. I'm sorry, that just sounded really inappropriate. Hopefully you understand I wasn't laughing at that. I'm actually really sorry that happened to you. And I know it happens all the time. It's just the difficulties of being in community, I guess. But yeah, people take some of these things and run too far with them. The thing I laughed at though was, where are we dropping? Into the granola, apparently. You should actually quote that. You guys should quote that, because that was a lot funnier than what I said. But But Jane did add the quote, "There's a Lego llama in my granola. I should probably fix that." Leah granola heart. Mmm. Baker says I've been going through granola recipes ever since I saw Chef Nova making them every week. I love granola, just not sure why I ever never make it. I don't know. I mean, frankly, I used to make it all the time. And like you can just like like buy it, you know? Like there like I can get good granola. There's even a local company near me that like makes good like relatively low sugar granola. One of the problems with commercial granola is like super commercial, like made by cereal companies granola. They do have a lot of sugar in them. And obviously this has a lot of sugar in it too, but like they have way more sugar. And I'm like not anti-sugar, obviously. But like it just fits better into my diet without being quite so intensively sugary. I also like it better. I like it better when it's not as sweet. Um, thank you, Jane. It was really funny. Noob says, "What is it about brownies being denser than a neutron star? I took a single bite of one, and I think I feel space-time warping around me. I don't know. You get brownies of a lot of different types, right? I mean, everybody kind of has their own opinion on what they like in a brownie. I'm just gonna stand here and eat granola, apparently. Maybe I'm hungry. We should probably fix that at some point. All right, first though, hold on. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this. And one of the things that was on my list for today was to clean off this countertop. And then I noticed just how dirty this appliance is. And so I'm gonna clean this first. So yeah, welcome truly the chore part of Kitchen Chore Thursday, where I chat with you guys and literally clean a part of my kitchen. You guys, the things that we do for content. Although I do, you know, I've talked about this before on days when I was feeling like weird about cleaning for content. And the fact is that like, you know, between like all the folks in our community that have ADHD, or the folks in our community who enjoy like co-working / productivity streams, right? Or who enjoy like the whole body doubling concept in like a Discord or in, you know, in a stream or like via a YouTube video. So I was talking about how prior to the pandemic, I did kind of like, there was this whole genre of YouTubers that I followed that one by one I slowly realized were I don't want to call them trad wives because this was like prior to the whole trad wife thing, but like were stay-at-home moms of a very particular stripe. And like I the pandemic rolled around and all of them started kind of showing their true stripes surrounding the political questions of the day. And I was like, I don't want to watch any of these people anymore. And like one by one, I ended up kind of not watching them anymore. And so I lost all of those kinds of people. And I kind of wonder if maybe there couldn't be or shouldn't be more, I should probably watch that too, more like actual cleaning type content on Twitch, right? Because I kind of feel like if there were people actually doing cleaning, like I would enjoy cleaning more. Probably. Okay. What am I doing? Are you sure they weren't special brownies? Noob says, I mean, there's walnut bits on them, but that's about it. Noob says, we got a lot of special brownies here, but they're not sold in the supermarket yet. The nice business to be co-opted then. Noob says the best brownie insert is missing. Where's my dulce de leche? Ooh. Ooh. But yeah, this is essentially why I'm super casually dressed today, because I Grog cleaned the inside of the coffee pot, but I don't know that he cleaned the outside of it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. And then like I was saying earlier, the reason for this is that I don't always clean behind or inside or under all of the appliances. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Or like cleaning all of the appliances themselves. Like there's a fair bit of like crumbs in this toaster. What is up with that? Wonder when the last time we actually cleaned this out was. That's got to be a fire hazard at some point, right? All right. Oh my God. There's just crumbs everywhere now. Anyway, I try to remember to do this about once every, I don't know, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, but it doesn't always happen. Okay. Briggs says one of my first regular streams is watching a tech guy sort out several dumping rooms in the IT business offices. Noob says that sounds so interesting to watch. It does. It does sound interesting. So, Noob says, to be fair, I think I could recreate an episode like that, just clearing out my own house. Jackson, hi. Hello and welcome. Abby says, Noob, let's open a special brownie store. We'll name it I don't know how to say that. Jackson says, I wish I could cook. I've burnt water before. Hey, then you're in the right place. Although today we're not doing a whole lot of actual like cooking. I'm kind of more like doing, I don't know, just random stuff. Like right now, so what we have here is homemade granola, and we've just finished that. There's a cake that we made on Tuesday, so like that was a thing. And then there's on the stove back here, you can't see because the crock pot's in the way, but on the stove back here is chicken stock, which is kind of more of like a component to a recipe than like an actual recipe on its own. But you know, anyway, we often do more actual like cooking based on like a recipe than I am today. All right, so the soap dispensers are going here. We're gonna wash this. Sorry, give me a second here. Get back to chat in just a second. Should probably actually wash this too. Put it here for now. A lot of time that cutting board just kind of gets used for like putting stuff on it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get dirty. We'll just let that sit for a second before we wipe it off. Okay. Weed brownies. I see. Okay, I see. Oh, no weed brownies, as in none, would translate to without. Yeah, we don't do any of that kind of baking here. Like no shade to anyone who does, but we don't. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. I also have the weird situation of having like a bunch of camera cords here that are kind of like I have to like clean around because that's just what my life is. Hopefully I don't actually unplug any of them. I didn't think about that when I decided this was the counter I was going to clean today. Would be Zonder. Abby says we'll have a combo store, brownie store in the front, crazy mirror maze in the back. I don't know what it is about like seeing other people cleaning, like physically watching other people cleaning, that makes me feel like cleaning myself. Like, is that an impulse that everyone has, or is that just like an ADHD thing? I'm curious. Those of you who are more neurotypical than I am, offer up your opinion as to whether this is a universal human trait or merely a me thing. Okay. This is still very crummy. As in very full of crumbs. All right, well, we're gonna assume that we've done the best we can there and live with it. Oh my God. Okay. Well, still crumbs everywhere. This is great. So apparently the toaster is the bane of my existence today. Maybe we should just throw it away and toast everything in the oven. Actually, Grog would probably object to that, since Grog uses it the most. All right. Slightly fewer crumbs. Coffee pot. What usually gets plugged in there? Oh, actually, the toaster usually gets plugged in there, right? And then this thing. Wait, where's the... What did I do with the coffee grinder? Guys, what did I... Oh, here it is. Oops. Briggs says a word like no has a lot of contextual uses, just making sure. Noob says absolutely, and we have to be sure that when selling weed brownies, people understand if the... How do you say, is it geen? Or, because that's what it looks like to me. Briggs says you should be cleaning yourself regularly no matter what. That's not what I'm talking about. You know it. I'm not talking about cleaning myself. I'm talking about cleaning the house. Actually, I think I'm going to wash the top of this thing independent of the base, because it looks like it's quite gunky in a way that I care not for. Whenever I do something like this is another example of things that Leah's brain does. Do you guys remember Ali Broche? She had a brief moment of internet fame, but I feel like you all are the kinds of people who would remember Ali Broche, who is not like out of the universe or anything, but just like she's not as, I don't know how to explain that, like not as present in the minds of the masses, the internet masses, as she was back in the day. Okay, so that's probably enough for that towel. That towel probably needs to be washed now. But there's a meme. There's a meme, and she's talking a little bit about, I think it's almost kind of like a certain kind of mania, but she's like, clean all the things, and there's a drawing. Oh no, okay, there's polls. Also things about VIPs, which leads me to believe that I've missed an awful lot happening in chat right now. Okay. Current poll is, do you already have a VIP badge? There wasn't a Hey Leah, so I don't think anyone redeemed VIP. Yes, no, or I don't know. Abby says I do love a good bit with like fake advertising of sorts. There's a brand called Johnny Cupcakes, and they sell t-shirts, but their whole thing is they're styled like a cupcake store. Even the t-shirts are stored in fake freezers and stuff. That's funny. Oh, Gain with a hard G. Gain! Okay, awesome. All right, so Jane says instead of a lunch nap, I'm going to have a lunch shower. Were you inspired by Brigitte? Abby says, don't let the bread get too soggy. Yeah. I tried to redeem it the other day and it got refunded. Yes, that you did. That is true. That is the thing that happened. As I recall. I'm just washing the coffee pot now, guys. I realize you can't actually see most of me, but that's what's happening. But this is just like a normal daily task, not like an actual like once every 6 weeks kind of task. I don't know. In theory, do other people wipe down the backs of their kitchen counters more often than once every 6 weeks? Is this disgusting? Is this a terrible thing? I feel like people have a lot of opinions on other people's cleanliness habits, particularly in the kitchen. But like, it's not like I'm using that part of the kitchen. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not using that part of the kitchen to prepare food. I'm using, you know, cutting boards and stuff, which I wash on the regular. Like, how often do you like move appliances and stuff? How often do you clean your oven? I think I'd like to say I probably clean my oven once every 3 months or so, but I think the objective is once every 3 months, and actually it's probably closer to once every 6 months. Just based on the number of times I snooze the task. Or feel like, oh, I just did that. It doesn't need to be done, you know? But like there is a distinction between like move all the appliances cleaning and like regular cleaning, right? Isn't there like a norm isn't there a distinguishing factor there for a lot of people? Um uh Jane was inspired by needing to take my cat to the vet at 3 and not wanting to be the stinky girl at the vet. Oh, is Kitty okay? Or is this just like a checkup situation? Either way, I hope that goes well. Baker does every time because flour travels. Every countertop? I mean, I wipe off over here because of the flour, but like, I don't necessarily wipe off, like, when I cook, I don't necessarily wipe off behind the toaster. Jane says, speaking of wish me luck, I have to try to give meds to my cat real quick, and I don't know how it's gonna go. Okay, well, good luck with that. Baker says the only appliance that's on my counter is a stand mixer. Oh, okay. So everybody else just kind of has a different reality. I have the coffee maker. So I definitely have the coffee maker. I have the coffee grinder. I have the toaster. There's a blender over here in the corner, but there's nowhere else to put it. Like, I wouldn't necessarily, if I had anywhere else to put the blender, I wouldn't put it on the counter. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have anywhere else to put the blender. But it's like over here behind the dish strainer. We have a lot of vintage dishes, and so some of the things have to be hand washed. And so we have a dish strainer that's like always out. And I realize other people don't necessarily do that because other people might just put everything in the dishwasher, but I don't. So, yeah, so that's a thing. I am discontented with my lot in life here. How do I get into this little corner? Because clearly this is getting washed, but it's not getting all of the little grimy grimes out of the corners. Is there a toothbrush in here somewhere? Maybe not. Oh, there's a magic eraser in here, though. That's probably more friendly for this task than my fingers. Okay. Is it going to be... Oh, this isn't gonna work either. Dang it, it's too stiff. I really need a toothbrush. Hold on a second. Aha! I found the toothbrush that I use for cleaning the grout in the bathroom. That will work for this, I think, hopefully. Better. It's better. It's not perfect, but that is okay. It is better. It is more clean than it was. So I'm just going to go with that for now. All right, last but not least, the little plate that goes under the soap dishes. Gonna wash that off. That I do every week because that gets gunky. I think the problem is I have very little counter space, very little storage space, and very many interests in the kitchen. Okay, so Jane says, long story short, and to keep it light, Kitty's potentially got into something dangerous. We were able to clear boy cat last night at the emergency vet, but girl cat wasn't cleared, so she has to go back today for labs. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Jane. So sorry. I'm very sorry to hear that. I had no idea. You did not tell me. I mean, not that you necessarily have to tell me, like, everything. I just mean, like, you know, I'm very sorry. I would have liked to support you through that. Baker says, oh no, but I only work on one space and the stand mixer is on its own counter. Oh, okay. So Jane says, I'm 100% confident that everything is okay. And we're just acting out of an abundance of caution. That makes sense. It was like when Chester got into chocolate cookies and we had to tell. See, this is the kind of thing we have a tendency to use this cutting board for, which is just to like set things on. But even so, it needs to be washed on occasion. So, oh, there we go. That's how this goes. That, as they say, is that. All clean, or, you know, cleaner. Baker says, well, all the best and hope everything is a-okay. Yeah, Abby says it's always a war of attrition with aminals eating things. Baker says, both you and Lou's titles lead me to believe I should be making stock and random goodies today. Really? Is Eat It Dad's also doing random kitchen chores? He does this too. I feel like this is like when you cook a lot from scratch, this is like one of the things that happens, right? Where you're just kind of like making stuff. Kitchen projects. Chowder. I don't know if I have things unmuted. You might get sound for a minute. No, you don't. Okay. Kitchen projects. Chowder, banana bread, stock, and probably other stuffs. That's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, so we might end up rating him today. She got into my travel med case. Girly, no! No human meds for kitties. He was also thinking about knife sharpening if time permitted. I'm not doing that. That's a Grog job. Grog does that. Grog does the knife sharpening in our house. And he just did it, so we don't need to do it. Oh no, the poll has ended. The poll options were, do you already have a VIP badge? And the options were no, and I don't know. Donnie, be good. Hi, Donnie. Good to see you. Yes, all the stuffs. Jane says I got more of her meds on her than in her, but she's giving herself a bath, so it counts. There we go. That's good. I'm glad that worked out. Okay, so if this is cool enough, if my granola is cool enough, yes, I believe it is. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have some yogurt because it is time for lunch. We're gonna start with that. We're gonna probably do something else later, but we'll start with yogurt because this looks beautiful and it's sitting right here, and this is what I want for the moment. All right. This is one of those ones where you're supposed to be able to like fold it up and put the topping in the thing, but the topping happens to be honey, and it just doesn't work for me like at all. And also I feel like it ends up being just a little bit too sweet. And the thing is that like I really like it because I like having the like portioned out cups. It's just convenient. But also it's a lot of plastic and I feel kind of bad about it. I don't know. But anyway, that's just good so that it doesn't end up being like all the honey. And when I do this, I can add, wait, hold on a second. Let me find it. I can add, guys, we bought powdered sugar at Costco yesterday. And so now I have so much powdered sugar. Do you guys remember me saying that I needed, oh, here it is. Do you guys remember me saying yesterday or Tuesday that I needed powdered sugar? And then yesterday we were at Costco and we decided to buy Costco powdered sugar. And I did, and it was 8 pounds of powdered sugar. It's a lot of powdered sugar. So now I have plenty. Have you considered adding a Lego llama? Adding a Lego llama to my snack? It tried to add itself like a carnival goldfish that has lived out its time on these mortal coils or whatever. Took a header into my granola. Yum. Baker just bakes and cooks with plain whole yogurt all the time. I can't avoid buying the big tub instead. Yeah, my problem is that I don't do that much baking with it. I probably could / should, but I don't know. I somehow end up using like oat milk a lot more often. Or almond milk if it's something that's just for us. If it has a chance to go to Grog's office though, I have to use oat milk. Noob says powdered sugar perfect for on pancakes. Yes, Noob, precisely. I'm adding more granola. Talking about Dutch food. Was that in my stream yesterday or was that in Dez's? I can't remember. I think it was Dez's. Opting out wants to know how much sugar you get for 8 quid. I don't know, but it was $7. Wait, hold on. Let me actually look at this. It was $7 for 7 pounds. So that's $1 per pound. And Grog put it up here in the baking cabinet and now it's leaking powdered sugar all over everything. And so I think I'm going to put it down here because it's better if it leaks down here than in the cabinet. Anyway, so that's like, I put half of it in the container, but that's all it fit. So, when I was at Whole Foods is really inconsistent is what I found. So the other day I was talking about how I had been very surprised to find very cheap meat. And I think it was on sale is the thing, at Whole Foods. And how other things that I have found have been also cheaper than I expected. But I went and tried to buy powdered sugar at Whole Foods because I knew I was running low. And it was $6 for like your normal 1 pound package of powdered sugar. It was like $6.99. It was either $5.99 or $6.99 for a pound package. And I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot of money for a very small amount of powdered sugar. And based on our discussion on Tuesday, I'm actually wondering if it was like vegan, so it didn't have the bone ash in it. Jane is doing that thing where she swaps to mobile for a little bit. Go for it, Jane. Well, I choke on my on my granola. Considering the times, yeah, probably does this. Probably, yeah. Noob says quid pro pound, as they say. Oh, $7 per pound. But the exchange rate is 3/4. You are being deliberately dense. I'm not going to play your nonsense, silly games. I can't measure things in grams. My brain doesn't do it. I'm an American. I'm sorry. Or kilograms, or any of those fancy gram things. Jane does not want me to choke. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate that. I put too much of the honey in this. It's too sweet. I punched the pun button too many times, too fast. And it only counted one of them. Noob says, I don't think we really use centigram or decigram. I will see it every once in a while in recipes, and it is very extremely confusing. I have a strong suspicion it probably correlates to specific package sizes in Europe, because every once in a while I run into it, but not that often. Just like here we have like cans that are based on can size numbers. When you look at old recipes in particular, I can find one. They will typically be cookbooks of a certain era, and so I've pulled a random selection off my shelf. But like you will sometimes get recipes that call for like a number 10 can of some specific thing, and it's like a specific can size that we would now probably refer to it by ounces or something, because most people just don't know can sizes. This one is too early. This one is only raw things. How old is this one? This one's 1952, so we're probably looking for something either older or newer than that. We are going down a rabbit hole, friends. You are following me like Alice down a hole you probably didn't know existed. Definitely, this one's like 1935, I think, right? So this one's going to be older. This specific edition is 1944. So we're probably looking for something more 60s, which I think is this one. Or maybe it's just a type of cookbook. I'm not really sure. I'm not finding any like specific references like that, but that's so funny because they definitely are a thing. Although in general, I have a bias, even in old cookbooks, I have a bias towards things that you can be like cooking from scratch rather than like the type that are like made by particular made by particular brands. So like, you know, when you get like particular brand type things, and they'll refer to things that way because like that's how their manufacturing thing thinks of it. Yeah, see, this one's talking about canned cherries, but it doesn't have a specific. It has 3 cups. It's not telling you like specific, like can sizes. Yeah, I don't know. I would think I would have to do some more research because I feel like it's an interesting phenomenon. It's just not something you see anymore. Mm. Noob says the stick of butter measurement has and will continue to wreak havoc upon the unaware metric chef. Because a standard stick of butter is 113 grams and a standard pack of butter is 250 grams. Oh no. Oh no, that's bad. Megabytes, hi, hello, good to see you. How are you? We made granola, and now I'm eating it. Well, I'm sorry to hear you're tired, but glad to hear you're good. Hopefully, you're tired because of good things and not just good in spite of being tired. But I'll take either. Just messed up sleep schedule. That seems to be going around. I think the heat is messing with people. It's been so hot. I mean, honestly, like I was just talking earlier about how I'm used to it being very warm in the summers here, warmer than where I grew up. Um, but I feel like it's actually been like consistently hotter this year than usual, like closer to the 90s pretty much all summer than I would typically see. It would typically be closer to like the 80s. Um, and on and I feel like on like Europe it's been a lot hotter, and so folks haven't been able to sleep because of just general hot temperatures in Europe. Climate change, man. Hell of a beast. Mmm. Megabytes is on summer break, so this happens. Are you a student or a teacher? Or both? Mmm. Toasty almonds. So good. Okay. Okay. Teacher, cool. I hope you're able to enjoy your break then. But I hope the messed up sleep schedule doesn't mess with you too much. All right, so guys, I think we're done. I think we're good. I think we're ready. I think we're ready to rate out. So I made my granola, sitting right here. I made my chicken stock, which is over here, just still kind of like bubbling away. That's gonna need to like stay on for another. I don't know. How long have I been live? Mm, I've been live for almost 3 hours. So like that will need to stay. I mean, it could go for probably another hour. I think is probably good. Um, so I'm not going to do anything about that just yet. Just if you see me anywhere on the internet between like now and like 4 o'clock, remind me that when I strain the stock, I want to strain the stock into a bowl and not down the sink because I have literally done that one time. And I will need to say to myself, Get a bowl, 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 get a bowl. So there's that. So it'd be better if I were doing that on stream, but it still needs to go for like another hour, and I think I'm basically done with everything else. And then the poppy seed salad dressing, which I'm excited to try tonight. And wiped off one of my kitchen counters, which was also on my to-do list today. It seems like a bizarre thing to do on stream, but here we are. So I think that's going to do it. Let's go ahead and figure out who we want to raid. I think I actually know. But thank you to all of my wonderful, lovely, amazing moderators, including Grog and Des and Jane and Brig. Thank you to all of you. I appreciate you all so very much. Relevantly, Des is going to be, well, Des isn't sure whether she's streaming tomorrow or not. So drop Des a follow and turn on notifications, and that will tell you whether or not she's going to be live and playing Dragon Age Inquisition or not, because she was supposed to be off, but now she might or might not be, because the thing that she was supposed to be off for isn't happening, and happening next week. So, you know, details. And then Brig, our friend Brig, is also going to be live later this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I have it on good authority that we are going to be reviewing our annual bingo cards. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, you should come and hang out with Brig and me at 4 o'clock this evening on her channel, because we will go into the details of what that involves. She's usually live for a few hours doing just chatting / productivity / just general Disco Elysium bitch sessions, etc. Speaking of Discord Elysium, there is the link if you need to join the Discord if you're not a member yet, and you would like to get in on the fun of side quests, bingo cards, and other little things that we do together as a community to keep our lives fun and interesting. You can also follow me on Instagram, Threads, or Blue Sky if you so choose. Those are all optional, obviously. You can hang out with us here in stream without being a part of any of those places, but we'd love to have you if you're interested. And then last but not least, I'm going to type my schedule command, because outside of being probably on a voice chat on Brigitte's stream later, we'll be live tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We are playing a cooking-related game tomorrow, which is not something that we ordinarily do, but we are doing that tomorrow. It's called Venba. It's a narrative cooking game featuring a family that is immigrating to Canada from India, or has immigrated from India to Canada. It's gonna be good, I think. I know everyone who's played it has thought really highly of it, and so I'm really hoping that I'm gonna enjoy it too. And Noob needs to put the beer in the fridge. Yeah, get up and put the beer in the fridge. Oh wait, is it called beer, or is it called Bane? No, bear. Bear. I don't know. We don't have that configuration in English. Jane is very excited to see Venba. I'm also very excited to see Venba. So that's going to be fun. And then Community Fortnite on Saturday morning. So if you play Fortnite, it is easier if everyone is in the Discord, but we may do some voice chat if some in-game voice chat if folks are not in the Discord. So that's how that's going to work. We know that thanks to, I think it's Baker, that Eat It Dads, aka Lou, is actually doing the same kind of thing today that I am. So he's doing kitchen projects today: chowder, banana bread, stock, and probably other stuff. That's exactly what we have just finished doing. So I think that seems like a perfect place for us to land. If you have things that you're still trying to get done today, you can get them done alongside Eat It Dads. He's a great guy with a great vibe and a great community, and I think you guys will enjoy it there. So we're going to go say hi to him. And I think that's about it. So thank you so much for being here, guys. It was really nice having you all to hang out with me while I completed all of these various little chores. I'm sure I will see you folks somewhere or the other after stream, either playing Fortnite in Brig's stream in Discord, or other streams later, and or the rest of the week or the weekend. But if not, have a good one. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your week. And we will see you guys all back here someday soon. Bye. This is just how I like it. I will let it cool in the bowl though before I put it away. because if you put it away while it is... There's a Lego llama in my granola. I should probably fix that. Oops. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that this goes like this. There's